It's unfortunate. Unfortunate. It was all on the table. We can be mad at Kevin Stefanski and the play calling all you want. I just showed you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plays that all could have been touchdowns or at least a critical first down. Play calling was fine. As crazy as that sounds, play calling was fine. He got him in spots that he wanted. Just didn't execute. When we watch these games on Sunday, we kind of like take in what we're upset about and run with it. But this is what this channel is for, is to get a deeper understanding of what happens on Sunday by following this team throughout the week. Not just their opponents for the upcoming week, but also reviewing what they did and didn't do wrong the week before with film. And this is what this is. Look, man, I got over 30 plays here to break down, so we're just going to jump into it. So this video is not an hour long. I wanted to start out by saying this game was a weird one for Jacoby Brissett, not just because of what he missed, but also because it was uncharacteristic in that he missed some easy throws, some layups, but he made some deep threes. If we're going to continue with the basketball analogy, right? He made some great throws in this game, some great plays in this game, but the easy plays he seemed to not make, which is uncharacteristic of Jacoby Brissett. Usually you expect the opposite. What do I mean by that? Well, let's look at some of the great plays that he made. This one right here, play action, throwing on the run, hits David Njoku in stride, beautiful ball. Makes the right read, makes the aggressive read. Here in empty, you get another look here of a great throw where he's just standing in the pocket, throws a strike literally over the fingertips of the linebacker to get it in that space. You see that man jump? That ball barely gets over him, but it gets to David Njoku in stride in time. Right? And we look at it from this angle, you'll get a better view of it, where you see how narrow this was. Look at that ball. Beautiful throw. Beautiful throw. You know, this one right here is another beautiful ball that he threw to David Bell at the end of the game. Back shoulder, tight window. I mean, he made throws like this multiple times throughout this game. It was kind of weird. This is an example of him making plays as a runner in this game. And again, Jacoby Brissett, not the fastest guy in the world, but he is a pretty quick player, right? And this is what I mean by that. He gets flushed, and he makes this jump cut is incredible because 3 people have him dead to rights here, right? If you look at this, right, this is an incredible cut that he was able to get here, right? You have 54, you got, I think that's 9 and 92, all merging to this point, and he just slides out of it and gets around. It's pretty impressive, right? He has insanely quick feet. Like, I bet he's pretty good at basketball because that's like good dribbler, good feet. Like, look at this. That's incredible. That's incredible. Like, look at that. I just want to look at this one more time, y'all. Incredible feet here. Look, they all crash into each other. That's how good of a cut it was. He comes in here. They have him dead to right. They don't bite on the pump fake. Well, no, 54 bites on the pump fake. So he gets 54 in the air with the pump. Boom. Slows him down. And then makes this cut here to slide between 90, like slip through the double team like a basketball player, right? Pump, slips through. I'm telling you, you get Jacoby on the court, he can ball. He's a baller. At least a basketball player. Them feet are great. All right. But all that's aside, right? We saw the great throw. And this is also another great throw that he makes here out of play action. Gets his hips around, throws his one hash to the opposite numbers. Dot to Donovan Peoples-Jones. Right? So that's what I meant. He made some great throws, but we'll see later on in this film breakdown, he missed some layups, man. some layups that I know he wants back. But he made some great throws in this game. So that's why it was an up and down game for him, I think. Now, let's talk about, as we let this play show again, another great throw. That's the same throw from the reverse angle. But let's talk about this goal line play calling, right? I think that's what people had some issues with. The fact that they went for it on this drive. I think everybody's issues with the play calling this week really were about this one sequence of events. They go for it. They get to the 1 yard line at the first drive. They run the ball with Chubb. Then I think they do a passing play after that. And then they end up having to go for it on fourth down because of a penalty or something like that. But this is the sequence of events that I think everybody is using to judge make their judgment on the entire game. And this was literally the first Browns offensive drive. They run here. Nick Chubb gets stuffed. They call it dead. He reaches across, and then he fumbles. But it didn't get called a fumble, so you're fine. This is a fine play call, right? And I think this is why they felt like the QB sneak wouldn't work, because they were already pinching aggressively at the beginning of the game. So they felt like, hey, maybe we could do some run action stuff and get it over top. By the way, if you saw here, they were so focused on the run, that they didn't even notice that Brissett did a fake. I would go back to that. If somebody else plays you like that, I would go back to that. I would absolutely go back to that. And what I mean by go back to that is, instead of Harrison Bryant actually blocking here, I would have Harrison scrape, and then right before he engages, swim off, and then float over to the center, over that line, over the Mike linebacker of the field, and then be right there so Jacoby can do that jump pass if nobody's going to be there. That's a wrinkle you can add in later in the year. They might even do it next week. Right here, I think this was a universally bad play call. They go to the passing play here. You can see they have 4 wide receivers technically, because they have a Freehold in there, a Freeholdy in there, who's an offensive lineman. He's running a route for whatever reason. And then they have David Njoku, Harrison Bryant, and then Nick Chubb. And this is all easily covered. Nothing's happening here. He tries to roll. There's a penalty now. And here we go, right? You get back in it. And this is the one play where I think a lot of misinformation happened. Jacoby rolls out here. And if you look at this, especially from the broadcast angle and from this angle, this looks like, oh my God, Nick Chubb wide open. He should have threw this to Nick Chubb. Now, what we're ignoring here is, it looks open when we see it from a still image, right? There are some issues that pop up when you see this thing in motion that I wouldn't even suggest somebody of Jacoby Brissett's caliber try to even attempt this throw. No offense to Jacoby, but this is a throw that you want Patrick Mahomes to maybe attempt, and that's even a maybe for Pat Mahomes. So, one, if you watch this in motion, and we'll watch it in motion, one of the things that happens here is that he's being chased pretty aggressively by the defensive tackle, and he's rolling opposite of where Nick Chubb is. 2, right, at the time of this throw, people are forgetting that this guy is right here. If he throws a liner to Nick Chubb, by the way, Nick Chubb, not the greatest catcher of a football, so not guaranteed to catch a liner to him. Maybe Nick Chubb catches it. What also could happen is that this bounces up in the air and gets intercepted. If this gets intercepted at this point, if this dude doesn't get tackled immediately, that's 6. Also, what could happen is that he does try to get his hips around, because he would need to get his hips a little bit more this way to try to make that throw. And he does try to float it towards the tee, which is an incredible play to make. And And again, I would have questions about Deshaun Watson trying to make that throw. A ton of questions about Jacoby Brissett trying to make that throw. And also, Nick Chubb trying to track that ball, I don't think is a guarantee. Nick Chubb's not a great wide receiver. So a lot could have went wrong if he would have threw that. I don't think he should have. Also, people are complaining he threw the ball out of bounds on a 4th and 5 or 4th and 4 on the goal line. The reason you would want to throw the ball out of bounds in this situation, if you have nothing here, instead of just forcing it in somewhere and maybe getting an interception, is this is where Atlanta would have to start the drive if you just throw it out of bounds. If you throw an interception, they get the ball over here. So it's about 16 yards of difference. Here, you get your whole playbook, right? Over here, you get like 1/3 of your playbook available to you. It's a massive difference. So anybody who is criticizing the decision to throw it out of bounds in that situation, I hate to use terms like this, but it shows a fundamental lack of understanding of situational football. Because any coach would say, hey, don't throw an interception right there, because you would rather them have to go 96 yards versus 80, right? That's just fundamental situational football in the first quarter. So, it doesn't get completed. And we'll see this from the reverse angle. It looks even more unrealistic, right? And again, people are going to be dug in. They think this is a good throw or not, or a throw that he could make or not. I don't even think he knows Nick Chubb's out there, because Nick Chubb's not supposed to be out there, right? He just kind of floats out there because the play's broken. So he doesn't really see that Nick Chubb's there. And you can also see, right, Nick Chubb's not really running hard like he's about to run a route. When he has his eyes close to being able to see Nick Chubb right here, all he sees is Nick Chubb jogging, right? He doesn't see Nick Chubb about to go for a route. So he kind of just gives up on Chubb right there. He clues in on Harrison Bryant, who looks like he can be open. And he looks at the back of the end zone. He sees nothing. And then you can look here, by the time Nick Chubb attempts to actually run a route, it's too late, right? The hands go up right now. He's already about to throw the football. He's being chased by these three guys. There are these three guys just blocking his field of view. So it's a very narrow angle in which he can even see Nick Chubb. Throwing it into this angle from there to try to float it into Harrison Bryant would be almost begging to throw an interception. There's also this defender right here who could just jump that if it's not a tight enough throw, or if this ball is thrown super hard, Nick Chubb doesn't catch it, bounces up in the air, pick six. Wouldn't have been a great decision. Again, we can armchair quarterback this all day and act like that's a throw that we should expect Jacoby Brissett of all people to make, but it's not. And for the people who want to do the what about Baker, I wouldn't expect Baker to make that read and throw. That's a read and throw I would expect like 3 people in the NFL to be able to make. And none of those guys are on your team. Maybe Deshaun, but I don't even expect that out of him. All right, so now that we got that out the way, let's go to some play calls I felt like could have worked, but they weren't executed properly. This end around, I thought this end around was a terrible idea when I saw it in the stadium. I think it could have worked. You see David Njoku gets it right here, pause. I think he read this wrong. He read his blocks wrong. He kept this outside. I think he should have cut up field, follow Ponick. There was a lane. There was a lane. If he cuts right here, takes this lane, that's sealed. Maybe he can run away from that and Amari can get him pushed upfield enough. But I think you can at least get 7 yards out of this. I think there's potential to get even more, but you can at least get 7 yards out of that. So I think that's a fine play call. When I look at how it was executed, it just wasn't ran in the right alley. That's on David. This next play here. Oh, this is a bad misscreen, right? So, I mean, this is as fundamental as it gets. Nick Chubb wide open here not Nick Chubb. Kareem Hunt wide open here for a slip screen. Jacoby just misses this throw. I mean, this is sealed. You got this guy. You got Ponick free to take care of him. This is a touchdown, man. This is a touchdown. Missed it. Just missed it. It's on him. That's a missed opportunity. We'll see it again. Should have just been out that first time, right? Well, he pumps him to get in the air. And right here, I understand he gets hit. But, I mean, Jacoby, you're big enough and strong enough that you can make that throw. I've seen you make throws better than that. And, yeah, Kareem probably could have came up to the ball and helped him out a little bit. But I think Kareem wanted to stay in position because he saw the touchdown was there, right? You can see Kareem peek before, right? He sees and he peeks. And he just wanted to make sure he caught it so he could run it. But when you set like that, you can't really adjust. It's more on Jacoby Brissett than it is on Kareem Hunt, though. And then right here, this is less egregious than the other two. Well, no, this is pretty egregious here. This screen, it's there, man. It's there. This slip screen, it was there. This is a great play call. Kevin has him. He's going to outrun him. And we got nothing but green grass right here. But, hey, throw doesn't get made. They get pressure in his face, and he smokes it. Right? We can look at it from this. Well, no, we're not going to look at it from this angle, apparently. And then this one right here is another slip screen that I think he just got on a little bit late, right? David does a fake block, rolls out. Ball should be out right here. He pump fakes instead. And then the ball comes out late. I understand why he pump fakes, right? You'll see Jacoby pump fake a lot on these screens to try to get that defender in the air so he could throw around him instead of getting a batted ball. But he's kind of messing up the timing when he does that. So either he needs to switch it up and sometimes he just throws it on the first one instead of pump faking, or he needs to stop pump faking because now it's a tell. Right, it's a clear tell of when they're going to be running the screens when he pump fakes. So, got to cut that one out. This is another missed opportunity, in my opinion. We talked about this last week. I think he needs to be more confident. Unfortunately, the angle didn't get the whole red zone for whatever the end zone for whatever reason. So it's going to be pretty hard to illustrate. But there's basically a window here, a hole in this coverage. I think this is cover 3. No, this is cover 2. This is cover 2. So this is cover 2. There's a hole here where you could take advantage of. You got the corner route that you want. You got to throw this when he gets on his cut. You get it there. You can get it to him. He ends up taking Harrison Bryant, who believes on the angle route. Again, he did this last week where he took the angle instead of taking the corner. I think he's got to think about taking that corner a little bit more often because they'll let him have the angle, but that corner can score. And if you could throw the corner to score, you need to throw the corner to score. Right? You're going to see, he could have had Amari Cooper right there. But unfortunately, didn't get him. And we didn't get in the end zone that time. So, again, another missed opportunity, right? Get points on the board. Got to start making these more aggressive throws once you get more comfortable. Got to. And again, this is something that, hey, if Deshaun's out there, it's going to be expected. With Jacoby, you want to see it, right? This play right here is a huge missed throw, right? You get exactly what you want here. You catch him in 2. Right? You catch this corner, especially A.J. Terrell, chasing. So he's chasing, back turn. He's chasing. Just get this ball on his shoulder, and he's gone. Because these are the 2 safeties. Nobody's there, and that's Donovan Peoples-Jones or it's Anthony Schwartz. Either way, if that man catches that ball in stride, he's gone. It's a huge play. Huge play. That's a touchdown. I have not heard a single person talk about this play. This was a huge missed opportunity. And this is on Jacoby Brissett. Bad ball. Bad ball. Carries him too far to the sideline for no reason. Again, I understand when you want to carry a wide receiver to the sideline when it's a situation where there might be a safety over the top and you just want to move him away from a safety. But by this time, right, and when Jacoby's at the top of his drop and he sees this, the leverage is gone. He's running straight. Like, it's all good for him. Just throw it up. Throw it straight. Let him catch it in stride and let him be gone. Missed opportunity. Threw it too far. For whatever reason, carried him to the line. I mean, missed opportunity. Just got to be more accurate than that. This one right here was a critical 3rd and 5 late in the game. You get what you want here. I believe this is just stick, right? Well, no, not stick, but you're running basically 2 outs and 2 nines. So 2 outs, 2 nines. This is a cover 3 beater, right? Because the ideal is you can maintain this safety. You can carry here. They'll hold because they're going to carry there. And then you can beat them on an out route. That's the idea for 5 yards. You get what you want. You catch them in 3. Good play call. Bad throw. That's a bad throw. We'll see it better from this angle. This is just a bad throw. You get them that ball in stride. You give them an accurate ball. That's a first down. Maybe even like 5 extra yards. Since you don't, it's a missed opportunity. You got to go off the field. And Atlanta scores on the next drive. That's what the problem was on offense, right? I don't think it was the play calling as much as it was the execution. There were layups there that Jacoby Brissett did not make. If he just made his layups, he would have had his best game in his career. No doubt. He would have had the best game of his life if he just made the layups that were there. He did not make them. And instead of having the best game of his career, he lost. It's unfortunate. Unfortunate. It was all on the table. We can be mad at Kevin Stefanski and the play calling all you want. I just showed you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plays that all could have been touchdowns or at least a critical first down. Play calling was fine. As crazy as that sounds, play calling was fine. He got him in spots that he wanted. Just didn't execute. Unfortunate. If you don't, the margins are thin in the NFL. You don't execute, you don't win. Let's talk about the defense. All right, so when I say personnel is a problem, this is what I mean. That's Alex Wright getting absolutely mollywopped. Look at that. Let me highlight him. Put him on the Summer Jam screen for everybody. This is Alex Wright. That's Drake London. Yeah, wide receiver Drake London. 210-pound Drake London. And Alex Wright doesn't feel this, doesn't think that this is a possibility to the point to where he does this to him. And of course it clears the way for a big play. You cleared the edge. Right? It wasn't all bad. I think Perion Winfrey had a decent showing for himself. I wouldn't say great, but it was a decent showing. Made a good play here. In a run game, got long and strong. There we go. Would love to see that more often. Look at that. Gets underneath. Gets out. Stays low. Gets long and strong. Boom. There we go, Perion. Would love to see more of that. Unfortunately, instead of more of that, we got more of this, which is horrible run fits. Don't know what this angle is that Jacob Phillips took. I think he just got pushed off guard by the guard. Well, no, tackle. Tackle pull, push Jacob Phillips off a little bit. So he ends up taking a really bad angle. And then Ronnie Harrison, brother, I don't know what this technique is, but it needs to be thrown in the trash. I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt and say you got tripped, because I don't know what that was. But you didn't hold contain at all. So there's that. Horrible run fit. Another one here. I mean, there's a couple of things to watch, but we'll just talk about Tommy Togiai. So I don't gotta roast him continuously. I don't think it's fair, just because I don't think he's very good. This is Tommy Togiai. This is part of the problem. That man was getting blown off the ball like I ain't never seen anybody get blown off the ball before. Check out Tommy Togiai get pushed to like the 5-yard line. Look at that. Like he's butter. He gave no resistance. He can't be on the field if that's going to happen to him. He cannot be on the field. And then who is that? Is that Ronnie? And Ronnie maintained his gap fine, and he was working backside, so I understand why he wasn't overly aggressive. Yeah, I'm not mad at Ronnie on that one. All right. So that's that play. What is this one? Oh, this is Jacob Phillips shooting the gap early. He pinches with JOK. They both pinch. And they made the wrong call. Boom. We can blame that on scheme. I'm going to tell you right now, that's not scheme. That is a linebacker consistently making the wrong fit. That is what it is. He needs to play better, right? Joe Woods cannot tell him exactly where to be. In this defense and in most defenses in the NFL, you have to make a determination based off of what you've seen in film and what you see on the field right now. If you cannot make the right determination, you're going to look bad. Scheme ain't going to save you. This is the NFL. All right, and that's what was happening with him, man. He crashes in, pinches, gets absolutely washed, and not only does he get washed, he washes his teammate in there, and now there's nobody to fill. Now John Johnson's in this unenviable position where he's supposed to fill this gap, and he was going to fill that gap, but now this gap wide open because nobody's there. Why? Because Jacob Phillips abandoned his gap to go shoot inside and pinch. Or at least that's what I think happened. Again, I don't got the access to the playbook, so I could be wrong on that front. All right, so what play is this? Is this this is the Nick Chubb run. We'll show you some joy. Browns go up. Hallelujah. Oh, what I wanted to show you was Jed Wills kicking ass. Let's show Jed Wills kicking ass. Right here. Did I get the reverse? I did not get the reverse. All right, let me show y'all Jed Wills kicking ass, because Jed Wills, for whatever reason, ends up as a target by a lot of this team's fan base when he's not been a bad player in his career, but for whatever reason, people think Jed Wills ain't good. Jed Wills is good, and Jed Wills is getting better every day. And this is where he did not excel at last year, where he's starting to look good at, right? Which is pulling and dominating on these run plays. But you see 71 get out there, get loose, and then pull to that second level and spring him loose. And you see him get excited about it. Good job, big fella. Jed Wills kicked some ass this week. All right, so this is one of those plays that, hey, they fooled everybody with the run action. Atlanta goes and catches them in man, sends everybody this way. Since they are in man, everybody who is in man follows their man, right? Follow, shade, follow, stick. The only person who catches it is ironically the one who has his own, because it's one high, and that's Grant Delpit, who reads this and starts to creep up in here. But since everybody else got beat, Drake London can come in here and cut this off. Now, you would love to see Grant anticipate that, swim out of it, and still get to his spot relatively soon. But unfortunately, he wasn't able to. So good news, bad news situation there for Grant. Good news was you were the only one that didn't get fooled. Bad news was you couldn't get off the block, right? If he anticipates that, he's maybe able to get to his spot and cut this off before he gets to the first down marker. But unfortunately, he gets blocked. We can blame this on this one. Isn't I think this one is they got caught in man more than it is Jacob Phillips made the wrong call, because I think Jacob Phillips is supposed to watch the fullback and he just went with the fullback. All right, so there was that. Oh, this one is hilarious because we just lose contain easily and immediately. And I mean, when you lose contain that easily, like, ain't much you can do. Look at these one-on-one battles we are not winning. Ain't much you can do. 94, 5 yards down the field already, man. That's supposed to be the dude setting the edge. Don't know what you're going to do about that. JOK got held. They didn't call it. They called the hold on JOK. Don't know what you're going to do there. That's just your personnel sucks. That's just what it is, right? They were able to contain this edge with the fullback and Kyle Pitts. And not just contain it, dominate it to the point where Kyle Pitts can get to his second level. This shit shouldn't happen. I'm sorry, Alex, right? This is the second time we've seen this in film. It should not happen, man. This is embarrassing, Alex, right? I get here where you're getting pushed back. But, dog, come on. You got to get off Kyle Pitts. At least anchor so he can't move to the second level. Hold him. Do something. Doesn't even get free. He never gets free. Embarrassing, man. Again, scheme ain't going to say that if the players just ain't playing good. This one right here, is this the broken play? This is the one broken play. We'll watch it first and then we'll review it. All right, so a lot of people wondering what happened here, right? I think what happened here is that Phillips was supposed to carry that zone area, but he got caught watching the quarterback, right? So you can see him carrying to start, right? He's carrying. Marcus breaks outside. Part of the reason why Marcus can get outside the pocket right here is because for whatever reason, Isaac Rochelle goes inside rip to push him out the pocket when you have nobody playing hard flat, which is a disaster. Don't know why he did that. Like, if you're going to, I'd rather Isaac Rochelle just lose than try to win inside here and flush him. Because if you hold here, there's a chance you could just rotate out and make a play. Ideally, you would want him one arm out, able to hold contain, or at least set his edge. But he ain't do that. So that's mistake number one. Right? He goes with the inside rush and flushes Mariota for whatever reason. That's a terrible idea. Now JOK has to hold because now he's responsible for that. And now Jacob Phillips is now holding and sticking because he thinks he's also responsible for that when he should just be carrying, right? He should just be carrying his spot. This is his spot. Stay in your spot. Play your spot. JOK got that, man. Instead, he overplays it, gets caught, wide open. Wide open in a bad tackle attempt by John Johnson III. And then they get the penalty. Great stuff there, right? So again, Isaac Rochelle, for whatever reason, on what looked like, just tried to roll him out with no help, which is a terrible decision. Great throw by Mariota to realize it. Didn't have to be that great of a throw. And then boom. That's what happened there. There's multiple mistakes that go into that. It's not just simply one thing. But that's a problem, man. All right, but also, as much as there is to complain about the defense, and there was, about the personnel, I think this personnel did a good enough job on this series of plays that the team should have still been able to tie the game again. This was a huge series, right? This is right before the 2-minute warning. The Browns just took their first time out of the half with 2:15 or 2:18 left on the clock, or 2:42, something like that, right? And they got to get it here. It's 2nd and 4. They got to get Atlanta off the field here or else the game's over. Defense stepped up in this situation. We're going to watch these 3 plays back to back to back. They come up here. Good run fit. Good play by Isaac Rochelle. Next play here. Again, you got to get them off the field. It's 2nd and 4. You just called a timeout. And then boom, big play. Force it to 3rd and 5. They're excited. They know what they just did there, right? JOK makes a great play. He sees this one coming. Gets off his man. Boom, makes a great play. Greg Newsome in there too. Great play. And right here, 3rd down. You need to get him off the field right here. This is pretty much the game on the line here. And you're able to string him out. And then who comes up? Jacob Phillips makes a great play. All the mistakes. He made that play there when it mattered most for this defense. Right? Follows, beats his man. Boom. Gets to the play, stops him short. Great play. Now let's talk about the offense. And again, I think the offense, all the missed opportunities were on their end. Right here. This is just A.J. Terrell being great. He just absolutely washes Amari Cooper. That's Amari Cooper who falls to the ground. And that's not a penalty because Amari's getting physical with him. He just uses that leverage to make him fall. It's a judo move. He doesn't do anything outwardly aggressive. And because Amari Cooper falls, Donovan Peoples-Jones, for whatever reason, gets so distracted he forgets to run his route and it doesn't get to his spot. So incomplete. Now I wonder if we can see it again from this back angle. Clean pocket. Yeah, and you can see the mess that happened down there. All right, right here is missed opportunity, I believe. Yep. Missed opportunity. You had something on this one. Oh, boy, you had multiple somethings on this one. Okay, so if we kind of cheat here, we can see that there were two great options given the down and distance situation, and then one situation that could have ended the game in the positive direction for the Browns. You had him open. You don't want to throw that. That's a disaster waiting to happen. But you also got David Njoku right here, right? If you get that ball quick enough, you got these two. I wouldn't throw the Kareem Hunt right here because it's just a weird ball you got to throw here. But those two, and then if you're feeling like a demon, you got a flat-footed safety. He's flat-footed. You throw a good enough ball from the opposite hash, you can get it there. But again, I don't think Jacoby Brissett somebody you should ask to make that play. That's more of a, hey, if Deshaun's in there, we can do that. But that's not something I'm about to ask Jacoby Brissett to do. But unfortunately, Grady Jarrett makes a play on Joel Bitonio, and this is none more, right? But hey, you had the opportunity to get the ball to the 30 here. Couldn't hold up on the offensive line, man. Missed out. It was there. But look what Grady Jarrett did to Joel Bitonio. Unfortunate, man. Unfortunate. And in this play, we all saw it. Same thing that happened against the Jets. Cover 2 look. He gets greedy. And he throws the seam. And the game's over. Dearness Johnson was open. Let's see where Dearness is at the top of his drop. So we can determine where this field goal would have probably been. Okay, so at the top of his drop, Dearness is at the 48. This linebacker is crashing pretty hard at him. I think probably Dearness gets about right here to the 40 if he stays on his feet. Anywhere between here and here. If he gets to the 40, It's about a 55-yard field goal. If he only got to the 45, it would be a much tougher, 60-yard field goal or something close to that. So it's tough to say whether they would have made either of those field goals if he threw that. I think I get the will to be aggressive here. You see a too high look, but the aggressiveness should have been in this window or in this window, right? But it really shouldn't have been in this window. That was a no-go window, right? I think you had this, and this, and that was obvious when you got the look from the defense pre-snap. I don't understand why he went seam there. That's a really bad decision. And that's one he's going to want back. Yeah, and it doesn't guarantee you anything if Dearness catches that. But, yeah, it cost you the game. That's ball game right there. But that's it. That's the film breakdown. The mistakes, even though the defense didn't play well, even though the defense was shorthanded, they ultimately did what they needed to do at the end of the game to get you in a position to have a chance to win. Defense played well enough for this team to win. The missed opportunities were on the offensive side of the ball. Jacoby Brissett missed like 4 or 5 layups that could have been big-time plays. Unfortunate. Learn from it. Play better next week. But that's what happened. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below.